I'm Alexandra, 34 years old, sitting alone in my modest apartment, fumbling with the Velcro straps of the brace wrapped tightly around my injured knee. The pain comes and goes like an unpredictable tide. Sometimes it's a dull throb that hums beneath the surface, other times it slices through me like a blade. But over time I've learned its rhythm. I've grown used to this quiet war inside my body. My doctor told me that recovery could take up to 6 months. A month. The words landed like a weight on my chest, heavy and unmoving. I nodded when he said it, pretending to be calm. Inside, I was already counting the days, calculating what I'd have to give up to make it through. Every morning I go through the physical therapy exercises like clockwork, stretching, bending, gritting my teeth against the fire in my joints. I whisper to myself, "Be strong. Just one more rep." But while my knee slowly knits itself back together, my thoughts wander to darker places. My body is healing, but my spirit feels frayed. I can't stop replaying the decisions that led me here. The sacrifices, the silence, the moments when I needed someone and no one showed up. 17 years ago, I was on the edge of a dream. At 17, I was a basketball prodigy with a full-ride scholarship to college. I wasn't just good, I was exceptional. Coaches called me unstoppable. Scouts showed up at my games. I still remember the way my chest swelled with pride the day that acceptance letter came. I'd imagined myself on a college court, bright lights overhead, a roaring crowd beneath my sneakers. That dream was tangible, alive. Until it wasn't. The day everything changed is seared into my memory. My father, a construction worker, was on a site when the scaffolding beneath him gave way. One moment he was building someone else's future. The next, he was paralyzed from the waist down. Our lives collapsed right along with him. My mother, who had never worked outside the home, had to scramble to find a job. Medical bills swallowed us whole. Rent, groceries, heating. Everything became a question of, can we afford it? We were drowning. I looked around and realized no one was coming to save us. So I gave up my scholarship. I packed a bag and left for the city, taking jobs that chewed up my body and left little else. Cleaning offices, stocking shelves overnight. I sent every spare dollar home. I became the anchor, the lifeline. Strong Alexandra. The one who held everything together while silently falling apart. I told myself I'd go back. That basketball would wait. But time doesn't wait. Days turned into years. That dream I once chased so fiercely faded into the background, like a ball rolling downhill just out of reach. I focused on my younger sister, Hannah. She was still in high school when Dad fell. I wanted her to have what I lost. I poured everything into her. Tutoring, college applications, emotional support. Every penny I earned helped prop up her future, helped keep our parents stable. And then, 6 months ago, I stepped onto a basketball court again. Not as a player, but as a volunteer coach at a YMCA charity tournament. The air buzzed with energy. Sneakers squeaked on polished wood. Kids laughed and shouted, their joy contagious. When one of the coaches didn't show up, the kids turned to me. "Coach, please play with us," they begged, tugging at my sleeves. I hesitated. Had been years. But something inside me stirred. I laced up an old pair of sneakers and stepped onto the court, my heart pounding with anticipation. For a moment I was 17 again. I faked left, spun right, and launched into my signature jump shot. The ball sailed clean through the net. Whish. Then I landed. Something tore inside me. Pain exploded through my knee. I smiled and waved it off, telling the other coach it was nothing. Just an old injury acting up. But by nightfall my knee had ballooned. By morning I couldn't walk. The doctor didn't sugarcoat it. Torn ACL. Surgery required. Minimum 6 months of recovery. Maybe longer. I couldn't afford 6 months. Not financially, not emotionally. But when he said without surgery I might never walk properly again, I swallowed my fear and signed the forms. I didn't tell my family. I didn't want them to worry. I didn't want to be a burden. As usual, I'd handle it alone. The surgery came and went. Cold hospital rooms. Machines beeping. A nurse with kind eyes holding my hand while my mother's voice crackled over the phone. "I'm so sorry I can't be there," she whispered. "Your father needs me." It wasn't fine. But I said it was. Recovery was hell. Every step a battle. My physical therapist, Tyler, guided me through video calls. His voice steady and encouraging. But I didn't have the luxury of healing slowly. I still sent money home every month. I still had bills to pay. And Hannah, she was getting married in June. I'd saved $50,000 to help her and her fiancé, Daniel, renovate their new home. A gift. A gesture of love. Then came the call from Olivia, my best friend. Her voice shook. "Have you seen Hannah's wedding video?" "What?" "It's not till June. Check Aunt Jenny's Instagram." My hands trembled as I opened the app. There she was. Hannah. In a flowing white gown. Daniel beside her. My parents glowing with pride. The date stamp. Last weekend. They hadn't told me. Hadn't invited me. I sat frozen, staring at the screen. I helped fund that day. I wasn't even worth a phone call. Olivia came over that night. I told her everything. How I sacrificed for Hannah, supported my family, kept everything afloat. She listened, then said something that pierced me. "Maybe they only see you as a helper. Not someone who belongs." It hurt because it felt true. The next day, I drove to my parents' house, unannounced. My mother opened the door, surprised but not apologetic. "Why didn't you call?" she asked. My father wheeled into the room, smiling. "We thought you were still in the hospital." That's when it hit me. They didn't know I'd been recovering for months. Hannah had lied. She appeared behind them, her face pale. Daniel stood beside her, confused. "I came because I wasn't invited to my sister's wedding," I said, my voice sharp. Mumbling. "The wedding's next month." I pulled up the video. Showed them the truth. Daniel turned to Hannah, stunned. "You said she was too sick to leave the hospital." Dad's face hardened. "Is that true?" Hannah barely whispered. "I didn't want her to take the spotlight. It was my day." Daniel recoiled. "You lied to me." I pulled up the scheduled transfer on my phone. "This was for your new life," I said, canceling the payment with a click. "Not anymore." Hannah gasped. "Please, Alexandra. We need that money." Daniel's voice went cold. "You didn't even tell me about the loan." I walked away. Cut off their calls. I needed distance. Weeks passed. I threw myself into rehab. Olivia asked, "Do you think she wants forgiveness? Or just the money?" I didn't know. Then one day, Hannah showed up at the cafe where I was having coffee. She looked worn, nervous. She sat across from me and apologized. She admitted she was jealous. That she'd wanted the moment to herself. That she never meant to hurt me so deeply. Then she handed me an envelope. $150. My first repayment. She promised to pay me back. Slowly. But not just the money. She wanted to fix what she'd broken between us. I studied her. Is this about guilt? Or is it real? Her eyes filled with tears. It started with guilt. But now, I just want my sister back. I didn't forgive her that day. But I didn't walk away either. Weeks later, I invited her to dinner at our parents' house. We set the table together. Laughed. Tentatively. Dad pulled me aside, his eyes soft. "Thank you for giving her a chance." He nodded. I wasn't ready to fully forgive. But I was willing to see if she'd earn it. A few weeks after that, Daniel asked to meet. He apologized for believing the lie. For not checking in on me. "You deserved better," he said. I appreciated it. Left it there. Later that day, Hannah texted, "Thank you for not giving up on me." I stared at the screen, letting the words sink in. Maybe she was changing. Maybe I was too. I didn't know where things would go. But for the first time in years, I felt something I hadn't in a long time. Not everything was perfect. But a page had turned. And I was ready to see where the story went from here.